Slides from an internal Ubisoft presentation regarding Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time have been floating across the internet over the past few days, and gamers are furious at everything they've seen and heard. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, whenever we hear about remakes or remasters or reboots, we instantly wave a red flag because companies do not care about respecting source material and really trying to make a product for their existing and established audience. They just care about modernizing something because they truly and genuinely believe a modern audience that they haven't reached the pockets of yet is out there, that they are going to be able to reach into their wallets, grab a few bucks, and now they're going to have double the fan base size. But that doesn't happen. When you try to make a product that appeals to everyone, it really appeals to no one. You're not going to be able to modernize and capture existing fans' attention and also capture a new audience's attention. You are really just making it harder for people that previously liked your product to want to support you in the future. And gamers are sick and tired of the BS. Gamers are finally putting their foot down and saying enough is enough. I'm not going to be buying modern audience slop. We've seen many games fail that did that, like Star Wars Outlaws. The most notable example is Concord. I hate to bring it up. I would love to be able to forget about that game, but you've also got titles like Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, even smaller ones like Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, for example. These are games that just did not meet companies' expectations. And really, when it boils down to it, we are talking about modern audience slop. We are talking about them forcing narratives down your throat. Of course, characters fall under DEI initiative guidelines. We're not talking about diversity and inclusion done naturally, which can be really amazing. We're talking about it being forced, and they basically say, oh, we don't need to develop characters, backgrounds, and personalities and stories because they're black, so it's good enough, or they're gay, so that's good enough, which is an insane thing that we've seen happen far too many times now. Characters with genuine potential just boil down to their sexuality or their skin color, which is wild. But Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is a game that has had a lot of high expectations surrounding it. People have really hoped that this was eventually, first of all, going to come out, but second of all, be a really good remake. But you can't trust companies, especially Ubisoft now. And we have seen over the past few days these images circulating because slides from an internal 2024 Ubisoft presentation deck were actually revealed in a YouTube video a few days back, including motion capture clips, alpha gameplay shots, and concept arts. Now, one key focus in the presentation was Princess Farah, who appeared in the original game, and she would previously accompany the prince through most of his quest and would also be involved in battles, but often would call for help when in trouble. If an enemy killed her, the mission would be failed, but according to the presentation, she does return, though she is apparently a strong, independent woman now, because the presentation appears to stress that there will no longer be a requirement to save her during battles, suggesting that she should be able to take care of herself now, which is such a bad move, in my opinion, because the point of having a companion that can actually die and the mission can fail adds that extra level of stress. It makes it so you have another objective on top of just going through the level. It feels like you actually have to put a little bit of focus into the other character, and teamwork is a really big point. But now she's just going to basically be indestructible. She's going to be invincible, and that is clearly going to play into the narrative surrounding her, because they talk about how the combat's been modernized and time powers have been enhanced, but the combat system and enemies have been revamped. From now on, Farah is a true ally Slay, capable of fighting independently with her bow and executing cooperative attacks. There is no longer a need to protect her. Whenever I hear oh, she's a true ally. You don't need to protect her. She can hold her own. I'm sorry. It just sounds like it's going to be made too easy. We know that typically now games have very easy difficulties and we call them journo modes, but it seems like no matter what the mode is, it's just going to be, unfortunately, a game that you aren't really going to have to put a lot of thought into. It's not going to be that tough, and maybe it will still come out and be great, but after hearing this and also seeing images of her, yeah, I don't know why they decided to go with these two character designs, but both the prince and Farah look absolutely abysmal. Here is another image of her that's been shared around, and it's so sad to see this happen because I do think that characters that originally were attractive should stay attractive. I don't think every single character needs to be a 10 out of 10 bombshell, but her sex appeal was clearly part of her character and her design, and I do think that they needed to keep her closer to the original material, but this is Ubisoft we're talking about. Look at how they butchered Humberly Gonzalez's face in Star Wars Outlaws. Look at some of the character designs that they decided to go with in Assassin's Creed Shadows. They are a company that doesn't really respect existing fans and source material. They laugh in the faces of their customers constantly, and gamers are not happy with what they are seeing, and it's really no shocker. I mean, these characters now look abysmal. They've turned it into India slop, a complete disaster. 19 going on 45. The girl boss trope needs to die in gaming. I have nothing against female characters that are well written. It's just any woman character that's written as a girl boss screams being an obnoxious a-hole. Why does it look worse than before? Was the studio shift not supposed to increase the graphic quality? Yeah, you can't trust what companies say their plans are. You have to wait until the final product releases because they make a lot of promises that they don't keep. If Ubisoft doesn't completely collapse before they get to the sequel, I'm betting there's going to be a couple of very big changes. Haha, gross. Look at how they massacred my boy. Modern audiences. This is terrible. The uglification in all of modern games is such a turnoff. Can we go back to 2003? Yeah, it's gotten to the point where you just need to stop making remakes. I know that it's very easy for companies, right? And they're able to make a lot of money off of them. It's time to say enough is enough. They need to go back to the drawing board, figure out what made games special in the first place, and then maybe they can restart making games. But right now is not the time given how much people have been rejecting these products. So stunning, so brave, non-binary. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 100 times? Ubisoft, more girl boss is just what our audience wants, trying to put the square in the circle. Ubisoft, let's make a cult classic game, but instead of make it like it was, change it to what everyone hates nowadays. It's a wonder that Ubisoft is plummeting and going out of business, lads. It really is. Anytime they say modern audience, you know the game is gonna suck. To be fair, I wouldn't want to protect her either. Worse than that, have you seen the prince? Yeah, it's just so sad that we constantly see this happening because I want remakes to be good. I want every video game to come out and be a 10 out of 10, but when you choose Concord level designs over what you previously had, you fucking deserve to go under. I can't wait to never buy a new Ubisoft product ever again. Sounds like it's DEI'd on arrival. Here we go. These mofos learn nothing. And yes, this is one of the major reasons why Ubisoft is facing major financial problems right now, because for years they have ignored their customer base. They want to capture this new fictitious modern audience's attention, but really the few people that would fit into that category do not buy video games, and they don't care about a remake of a title that they've never even played before. When you respect your audience, they will show up to consume your content, but Ubisoft doesn't even know what the word respect means anymore. They have made a mockery of so many amazing characters and storylines and fan bases, and it is so sad. And if you are a Prince of Persia fan, I definitely would lower my expectations for the Sands of Time remake. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.